I'm sorry, Mr. Trudeau, just look at this poll. As it stands, there's no chance Canadians will re-elect a Liberal government. Why are Canadians so hateful? Probably all that disinformation distributed by that Joe Rogan fellow. If only there was a way of creating a bunch of new voters who would... What? Why are you smiling? Oh God, what are you thinking? Good evening. You're watching government-funded news. A new Liberal government bill would allow foreign-born Canadians to pass citizenship rights to children born abroad. Immigration Minister Mac Miller tabled the new legislation, which is designed to close loopholes, creating so-called lost Canadians, also known as Liberal voters. The new citizenship rights would allow Canadians born in a foreign country to pass along their citizenship as long as they've spent a cumulative total of at least 3 years living in Canada. So they weren't born in Canada, and their kid wasn't born in Canada. How are they Canadian?
You see, it turns out I am an American citizen after all. Apparently, I just plumb forgot about it. Ha ha ha.
Now, could a potential influx of an unknown quantity of new Canadians have an impact on important issues like housing? Possibly. So it's a good thing there are currently no concerns about immigration levels affecting the housing supply. Also, the Liberals are set to introduce a new program which would grant residency to hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants who've been living and working in Canada for years. They are certainly trying to make new voters, aren't they? What's next? Letting 16-year-olds vote?
Nothing bad happens when you lower the federal voting age to 16.
If you're driving 80 miles per hour, how long does it take for you to go 80 miles?
Like 2 hours? You're going 80 miles an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hour and a half. Hour and a half?
It's all good.
The science and the research is clear that extending voting rights to 16 and 17-year-olds and allowing them to participate in their first election.
Well, if you're going 80 miles an hour,
But
it's going to take
how
more
long does
than
it
an hour
take
and
you
a
to
half.
get to 80?
Oh, you're right.
It takes you you have to
Yeah, so
build up speed.
like 2 hours.
Earlier in life, when they're at a less volatile stage, typically living at home, typically in classrooms engaging with their teachers on matters of civic and democratic engagement, improves the likelihood that they will turn out and vote.
Like an hour 45.
Is that right? Do we get the money?
I think that was right.
16 and 17-year-olds are ready to vote.
Well, we've had a good run. This time of year marks a grim anniversary. 3 years ago, on May 27th, hundreds of unmarked graves were discovered at a residential school site in Kamloops. Well, technically no remains or grave sites have been identified. What do you mean? The discovery was the Canadian Press news story of 2021. The flags were at half-mast for months. That was a touch premature. Man, I kind of feel bad for all that stuff we said. Ugh. Well, at least nobody's spreading ridiculous false narratives anymore. Well...
Some of these residential schools or these institutions also had incinerators, so there could be potential not finding any remains of children that have gone missing.
I don't believe you.
May 28th was Menstrual Hygiene Day, which is a thing, apparently, since many politicians felt the need to be seen wearing this bracelet, which supposedly indicates the length of a period, which is a thing that we think women have. We're not sure because we don't know what a woman is. But we'll stand up for their right to do anything, except have their own spaces to play sports and change, and things like that. Because again, we can't really define what a woman is. But we're on their side. That was clear, right?
This bracelet commemorates May 28th, which is Menstrual Hygiene Day. Now, there are millions of women around the world who are unable to reach their full potential simply because they menstruate.
I read somewhere that their periods attract bears. The bears can smell the menstruation. Well, that's just great.
In other news, in order to prove their commitment to something, the RCMP have added the ribbon skirt as part of their official uniform. The ribbon skirt. Has anyone told them what their acronym stands for? Like, any of these bureaucratic fucks ever try to ride a horse in a skirt? Well, it seems a little out of place. I don't know, imagine a lifeguard needing to hold an anchor as part of their uniform. What do you... Well, that's all the time we have tonight. Thanks for watching Go FU News. And remember, the Trudeau government is open by default, and they have nothing to hide, especially regarding the Chinese election interference they benefited from, which is why they're using cabinet confidentiality to withhold documents about it. And if you think there's anything wrong about that, you're a far-right conspiracy theorist. Good night.